All right, so let's continue our project. I have a small disclaimer that I recorded most of the image, and but unfortunately I lost the audio. So now I'm reviewing the screen capture that I've done, and I'm just gonna have and a voiceover. So I'm gonna try to comment and keep up with some of the mouse movements that I had. Good, but we're coming to the final stages of our design. First, we're gonna do a Google Analytics integration, a Microsoft Clarity, and then in the end, we're gonna index our website with Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools. So let's start with Google Analytics. Yeah, so make sure that you attach your account. As I mentioned, if you just have a dedicated tech-oriented account, you can just use all of this for it. You can, good. Type in your homepage address. I think the image is about the currency and country are self-evident, so I'm not gonna talk too much about that. I think the setup is pretty intuitive and pretty easy. Just go through the sign up flow. Just check whatever business objectives you might have. Yes, Alex, good. You're doing a great job. Of course, read the terms and conditions, which I have done, as you can see in the video. Perfect. And choose the platform. And now you're going to see that that Google Analytics is going to create a tag. And then you're going to have to copy this Google tag, and technically this Google tag should be implemented in all of the pages of your website. But because I only have one that's relevant, then I'm going to implement it in that. But I think the prompt is going to be to all of the pages anyway. So actually I haven't checked if this tag is going to be in the cookie privacy policy and cookie policy pages as well, but that might be something that you might want to look into. And that what I'm highlighting right there, that is our unique Google tag identifier, which can be public. In this case, it's fine. Good. So I'm just going to prompt the Google Analytics. So the code is going to the large language model is going to incorporate the code necessary for it. Okay, yes, I was right. I'm writing there in all of the pages. Good. Well thought, Alex. Good. And let's see what happens. Yes, and then I'm just going to put the reason why I want to put in the .env, the identifier in the .env.local, is because I just want to have all of the identifiers in my my local environment, and it's just in one place, right? So and then I'm covering up the other API keys that are private to me. Okay, but this should be done now. Okay, marinating. Okay, it's done. So you can see that the Google ID is in there. Later on, make sure that you add this Google ID into the Vercel environment variables. Actually, I'm not sure if I do it now that I come to think about it, but you have to do it, right? Good. Okay, I'm printing to see in how many pages. Okay, so it was only embedded in this, and then out of that, it will automatically wrap all of the pages of the website. Good. All right, so we verified it. It's technically implemented across our website. Good. Now if you go back to, where do I want to go? Yes. Good. Now I can test this installation, right? But in order to, yeah, okay, I'm not testing the installation. Apparently, we're just moving along with clarity, okay? Again, the same sign up flow process. Just speed this up. I'm gonna shut up. I guess there's not a lot that I can say. It's just the sign up flow here. Very good. I'm moving the mouse as I'm saying something, so yes, I'm saying something. I feel so bad that I lost the audio, but the reason why I don't want to do this from the get-go again is because I already prompted some stuff, right? And I've only implemented some stuff, so I was like, I didn't want to do it. But I'm going to press on install manually, and it's going to be almost as easy as, it's almost going to be the same process we did with Google Analytics. Come on, Alexito. Good. Then I'm just going to push the changes. Just rewrite the message here. Good. Let's go for our deployments. Why are we going to settings? Okay. I'm actually adding the Google Analytics and the clarity. Oh, smart. I thought I forgot about that, and I thought I have to go back. So good. So I'm probably just going to skip this part. Good. So now I added both the Google Analytics and the clarity. I'm going to redeploy. Perfect. Okay, now it's detected, now that it's been deployed. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time until you get visitors, and then until data starts showing up on Google Analytics. Very good. So this is kind of done. Oh yeah, we're done. We're done. I'm not sure what I'm talking about, but close the browser tab, Alex. Perfect. Now we're going back to clarity. The same has been done there, and then again, it's going to take a bit of time until it loads. Right, you can see there installed your code is going to take up to 2 hours until it starts showing some code. Good. There's also an onboarding flow that you can do. I can also see that you can set up Clarity directly into Google Analytics. Okay, I didn't do that. I did it separately, but I guess you could follow that flow as well. And then you can also just watch some introductory videos on how Clarity works and what to do about it. So again, Clarity is going to be the service that is going to show you the heat maps and sort of the journey of your visitors on the web page. Good. So going back to CookieBot, now that we've installed Clarity, and Google Analytics, now we can go on and implement our cookie policy. Why? Because in order to track the page analytics and the way that your page visitors act, we're gonna have some identifiers, right? We're gonna use these services use some identifiers, and according to European law, we have to disclose that. So that's why we first do all of our trackers, and then we're gonna use our cookie policy banner. So we're just going to do the onboarding flow here. The same thing. Good. And what's really cool about CookieBot is that it's going to detect all of the trackers that we're going to have, and it's going to automatically create the code and the policy necessary for us to be GDPR compliant. So that's kind of the beauty of CookieBot. But I think in parallel you could do it with your large language model as well, if you're asking me. But I want to show you this because this is something that a lot of people use, and I'm not sure what's the legal coverage for this as well. Good. So now here you can set up the design of your website. You can see I'm going to pick the logo as well, so I'm very happy and I'm very proud that I had this documentation folder where I also keep the PNG files. So I'm very proud of myself here. Very good. And I set it up and it all looks good, but I don't press save, or I don't think I press next or save, and I just hop off, so none of this is going to be saved. And I think later on I'm going to come back to this. Cool. Then if you go back, so we can pick the regulation that we want to comply with. I essentially just use GDPR because, I mean, for the next year or two, my app is only going to be in Europe, so I'm not really that concerned about other regulations, right? Because the public that I'm addressing itself is only European. Now we can go on to for the content, and here you can also add another language. So here I'm just going to add the Danish language. Good. And yeah, I'm not sure why it is. Yeah, you have multiple places you can do this. Good. And you're going to start seeing that you have this. We're going to use the manual implementation, and we're just going to copy that script. Good. We're going to use the auto blocking. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to go back into our large language model and then just prompt it to implement it. Good. And now we're continuing. I'm just going to prompt the large language model to implement the cookie banner. I'm showing the .en and .json files, so I'm guessing what I'm going to try, what I can suppose I was trying to say is that the cookie policies and the privacy policies, they're going to be put in there as well, in their English and Danish version as well is going to be implemented, and then they can be displayed on some of these auxiliary pages of the website. Perfect. So now it has been installed. And now we just need to go back to the website and fix the last things. And then finally, I'm just going to write the short prompt for the large language model to actually test the correct implementation of this cookie bot, right? So the banner should block the Google Analytics and Clarity if the visitor chooses to do so. And what I would suggest you to do is, of course, now the large language model is going to test it for us, but you should also do that, right? So you can do a test of 10 tests where you go onto your website 5 times you agree on allowing these cookies, and then 5 times not, and then you should just go into Google Analytics and then see how many visitors did you have, for example, and it should be 5, right? Because 5 yes, 5 no, and if those numbers don't correspond, then you go back to your large language models and prompt it again. So we're back for the very last part of this workshop, and I actually wanted to start from the list of the things that we still need to do. So we have an update, the Kanban board here. So we've done Clarity, we've implemented. We've done Google Analytics, we have implemented this. We still need some documentation, some paperwork, and some files that we're going to need for the Google Search Console and Web Tools. So we're almost done, but I want to finish the CookieBot implementation, and because if we start over, what you guys need to do is you have to go to your domain and aliases. Go on your website, and then normally you should start a domain scan, and this is going to be queued. It might take a little bit. Yeah, scans take up to 24 hours to complete, but it usually takes a lot less. And then you can see that the website CookieBot scanned my website, and it found 6 cookies and trackers. And let's look at what are those. So we can see this is Google Analytics, Clarity, and then Next. And I'm guessing this is a Next.js thing. All right, and if we look at our website, it's not implemented. So I've been having a bit of an issue here. So we can also just go back and ask the large language also. So I haven't implemented. You implemented the cookie. You implemented the CookieBot banner, but when I access the website, the banner doesn't load. I'm just deleting a temporary file, this temp.txt that I just played around with before the camera, before I started recording again. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna push some code. I'm gonna push the change here, the fix. I'm gonna say Claude and then cookiebot fix. We're gonna push. Let's go to Vercel quickly. Go to deployments. Good. Let's see. Is it going to pop up? No, it won't. I'm going to reload without cache. Okay, that didn't help either. Okay, so I'm going to say I pushed your fix, but change, but the cookiebot is still not present. I'm gonna quickly check something here. Yeah. So what's happening? This is exactly what I thought it would happen. We have a cookiebot ID here in our .env.local, but we didn't add it to the Vercel website. So we're gonna go back to Vercel, and we're gonna go to where we at? Let's go back to projects, and we have to go to settings and our environment variables. Good. And then here we need to add the cookiebot one as well. Good. We're gonna redeploy. I'm gonna say no for a little while. What I'm gonna say is that based on the cookiebot ID, how please write down the English and Danish versions of the cookie policy. In en.json and da.json. and display it in the /en.cookie and /da/cookie pages. Let's see if we can automatize it. I haven't tried this before. I'm doing something, normally I'm doing something a bit more manual. Let's see if you can just, if you can do it. And we can check the deployments meanwhile. Oop. Yeah, okay, we should get a new one. Good. Oh, perfect. Good, good, good. So now we have our consent cookie, and then if we look at the details, so we have one necessary one, which is the cookie banner. Good. One preference, which is this next. Ah, yeah. Okay, so this next locale, this is the I18N package, and then the 4 statistics ones, right? For 2 from Google and 2 from marketing. All right, so it looks pretty good. This is implemented, though I don't like the way it looks. So I'm gonna go back to configurations, and I want the bar. I like the bar. You can of course add some designs here. I feel like I've done this before. It's a bit weird that it looks good. And I'll just quickly add that. Yeah, I think I forgot to. I think I might have forgotten to press save up here. And I think that was that's that's the case. Good. So now we can go here Let's reload it without cache. Or you can always just test it with. Okay. Yeah, it's looking good. All right. Perfect. Now let's look at the how can we get the actual cookie policy files. And then let's look if they did something here. No, it doesn't. Oh, okay, it definitely did something. So there has to be a thing called cookies. You can also just Control F and find the words into cookies. Okay, yeah, so there is something here. Good, what we use. It's a bit chaotic, I would say, because if we are in the Danish. No, but then, yeah, okay. I don't know, I had the feeling for a second that it's that it's in English as well. Okay, so let's run locally. Let's see how it looks on our local server. It's this one. Good. And if we go to the cookie policy, boom, it's kind of extracted. Okay, that looks pretty good. I would like. I'm gonna take this. And let's look at the English version. Yes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go to ChatGPT and I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna ask it. So I'm gonna say you are a GDPR specialist and I need help with a cookie policy. Is this GDPR compliant? And if not, how will you write it? Wait. I think there's a nicer way that all of these things they can be declared. Correct. Okay. So now we have a updated version for this. Good. I'm gonna say, can you please write a Danish version of this cookie policy? Good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all of this. And normally ChatGPT is really, really good at this. So I'm going to say, please update the cookie policies. So the en.json and da.json with the following text. Good. And then we can do the Danish one here. Yes, and we have done this. Good. What we can say is, please write a comprehensive privacy policy as well, for both in English and in Danish, based on the cookie policy, and make sure that it's GDPR compliant. Good. Okay, so in my case, I'm just gonna what I'm gonna say it is leave the company details. So for the company details, just write a fake company details, because we're gonna put our own in the end, and then we'll have an email subscription form where if the visitor checks the terms and conditions, we'll collect her or his email, and then what we can say is an email. The address will be stored on Supabase, and the email address might be, or let's say will be processed. Let's say that I have a huge list and I'm just going to put it on my Google Drive at some point in time via an Excel. So the email address will be saved on Google Drive and will be used by MailChimp. Let's say I'm just gonna have some MailChimp campaign. Good. 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 And then what I can say is please write out the text as a collection for JSON, for a JSON file corresponding to a en.json and a da.json. Good. And then finally, I want a terms and conditions, a GDPR compliant terms and conditions declaration for the subscription, for the email subscription. Good. Perfect. Good, and then we can come back here and we're gonna say, please update the privacy policy both for the Danish one, Danish and English one. And let's go back, and then we're just gonna copy the Danish one as well. Good. Good. Very good. This is ready as well. And don't forget to update these personal details. You can delete this temp file. Good. And then please do the same with the terms and conditions, Good, and then also the Danish one. An important thing here is don't take the text generated by ChatGPT by its word. Try to do like a parallel research and compare the text, and then make sure that you're compliant. The reason why I'm doing this is just to give you an example of how you could do it, and I'm more focused on the code part, right? So let's look at the, okay, all of a sudden we have a lot more text here, so we can see that it correctly got implemented in both of the English and JSON files. Let's look at the local host here. Good, and then if we go, we are on the English side now. If we go to privacy policy, okay, it's good, it looks good. And if we go on the terms and conditions, oops, there's something bad in the terms and conditions. Okay, so we know that there's an error there. And now that we're on the Danish version, if we go to privatlivspolitik, okay, and vilkår, okay, so we can just go back and we can say that please review the both the Danish and English versions of the cookie policy, of the privacy policy, and terms and conditions, because they don't load. Good. All right. So in the meanwhile, going back to Figma here, the cookie bot implementation is done. The terms and conditions waitlist, this is kind of done. Google, yes, we need these two things that are left here to be done. Let's just make sure that this works, and then we can prompt some more. Actually, while we're waiting, one important note that I wanted to highlight here is with Bing Webmaster Tools and Google Search Consoles. Okay, this is done. So now that this is done, let's take a look at it quickly. I'm going to go onto my local host. Okay. Good. This looks good. And then let's look at the Danish one, the English one, sorry. Good. Okay, this looks good. But we have this weird page here. What is going on when we press the cookie? Oh, okay, I can see it's gone. So it was like a temporary code that was still working, I guess. We can reload with a cache. Okay, is our server? Okay, something happened here. Okay. Cookie up. Yeah, so I think it's because we haven't configured in our cookie bot the fact that the local host is not authorized to show the cookie declaration for the main group. So I think I can just double check it, but I'm fairly certain this is because is this text only appearing because I'm viewing the website on localhosts? Yes, okay, good. And will this weird text appear in production? The answer is no. Good. All right. So finally, we talked about some documentation and some robot.txt and then the sitemap. And what we can prompt here is review the entire site, review the entire site and its content, and generate all the necessary files such as robot.txt, sitemap, etc., so that the website can be indexed by Google Search Console. And Bing Webmaster Tools. Good. Finally, what I want to talk to you about is a high risk that you might have issues, at least in the beginning with your website, especially if it's a fresh new website, that Bing Master Tools just simply won't index your website. And this goes back to the core mechanic of search engines. And this was initially the Google's co-founder's PhD work. It's the concept of page ranking, and that this is the underlying mechanic of how both Google and other search engines work. So the idea is that if I have a website, then I'm gonna have 0 rank. But if I'm going to have other websites, if I'm going to have, let's say, 2 to 3 more websites that are pointing at this website, then all of a sudden what we can deduct is that this website is important. So it's going to rank higher, right? Because other other web pages or other pages from other websites are sourcing this this other page or this other website. Website page, I think this is better. So so this is how page ranking works, right? So the more credibility the system will deem your website to be, the higher is going to rank when you search with related words and all this. And essentially now we're getting into SEO territory. The issue here is that Google will index your website even if there's no other websites that are pointing at your website. But Bing Master Tools is a bit more, let's say, sensitive. So when you launch your website, just make sure that you put your address on your LinkedIn, and I don't know, find other ways in which you can start pushing at least some pointers to your website. And the other way around, right? You can always just go and I don't know, if I would have like an about me section here, which I'm gonna have, but that's not in the scope now. I'm gonna put a pointer to LinkedIn, for example, right? So try to generate some backlinking around your website because that is going to help with Bing with the Bing indexing. Good. All right. It is Fitras.app, right? So it's asking what's our production domain because we need this for the robot.txt. Good. We're so close, guys. We are so close. So now we're generating this. I'm gonna ask it to write a comprehensive documentation in the README ID. They're gonna push the code, and then we're gonna go to Google Search Console and Webmaster Tools, and then index our websites. And we're finally done. Good. Good. All right. So let's just push our code. Oh, the documentation, yes. So finally, write a comprehensive documentation of this website. In the readme.md file. Be thorough and include descriptions both for tech and non-tech readers. All right. Good. I hope you enjoyed this journey. I think I can understand that the initial videos were a bit annoying because they were only 15 minutes at a time, but I didn't know it was a very simple verification that would allow you to have larger content. So that's why the latest videos are a lot longer. And sorry for my stimming and background noises. This is the first time where I'm doing this, but and yeah, like lastly, perhaps some of this is super boring when you're just looking at me and you're watching my screen with me trying to debug. The reason why I try to do this and kind of just have almost no filter between what's going on in my head and what comes out of my mouth is, I don't know, just to get an insight on how I work and perhaps to demonstrate that that you can do a lot with vibe coding, right? So that's why I specifically, I mean, I'll give you some tips and tricks here and there, but other than that, hopefully all these videos are going to give you the courage to just go out and experiment and just type it and fix it, because yeah, they're very, very powerful tools that we're using here. Good. Right, let's stop the server. Stop the server. Good, and then let's push some code. Good. We can say final push with documentation, sitemap, robot, etc. Good. We can push. There we go. All right. Okie dokie. So let's start with Bing. Let's start with Bing Webmaster Tools. Webmaster Tools. Okay, this makes it very, very easy. I'm not sure we had this last time I did this. So then we can just go to Google Search Console. Good. And good, and then we're just gonna add a new property, and we're gonna say it fitras.app. Okay, so what you're gonna need to do in this case is you have to copy this this code, and you have to go back to the provider from which you've bought your domain, and then you have to open a new .txt record and then put this in there. So I'm just going to stop the video here. And okay, so now I've added this, and oh, that was fast. Good. Okay. It's probably going to need a bit more time, but I can see it's quite easy to set it up. And now what we can say is, does this mean it's done? I doubt it. Okay. So we have to, I'm gonna quickly follow this profile thing and fill out all my details. Yes. Good. Good. Okay. Here. Good. Okay. So I have to download this. upload the file to the root directory of my website. Okay. So then we're going to take this. And we're going to put it in our root directory of our website. Good. And then we're going to push it again. I'm going to say added Bing of file push. Go back. Oh, okay, it's there. What? This should be there. Okay. Okay, so it should be in the public folder. Okay, sure. Good.
Most takes only 2 of them work, and
Okay, good. Okay. And here what we can do is submit the sitemap, and then this should be fitras.app/sitemap.xml. Good. And then we're gonna have to index up. We're gonna have to go for a URL inspection, and then we're gonna have to write down all the URLs that we need to that it needs to look at. Let's look at the site scan. Good. And let's let's do, I think we have 6 pages or something like that. Okay, let's do 10. Good. And then we're gonna have to scan this, and then it's not the index, but we're gonna have to, okay, let's see. So what we have is a https://fitras.app/Danish. Okay, and then you just request the indexing. Yes. Good. And then you can go for the English version as well. Okay. In the end, what I want to do is, yeah. Okay. But the issue here is that this little thing, I'm not getting my logo in, so let's just check for that. So when I okay, so let's deploy quickly. Good, and then it's going to build, it's going to deploy, and then we have to go back to Google Search Console. Okay, and now that we're back, let's see. Okay, so the new production is ready. And then what we essentially have to do is we have to ask it to index this page sitemap. Okay, we should enter our sitemap here as well. Good. Good. And okay, so it's going to take a little while. And once the bots are going to crawl my my website again, this should be updated as well. Yeah. There's nothing I can do about it now. All right, so this was it. I hope it was fun. I hope you learned something, and yeah, if there's anything, you can always just write to me. Yes. Oh, and the final thing, you have to put these two things to done. Yay! Enjoy the rest of your day, or night, or evening, or whatever you're watching this video. Thanks. Bye bye.